Now, for the last time, moron, I have a younger sister who I helped potty train and raise. All right. She's over 10 years younger than me, but I helped raise her when I was a teenager. Now, it wasn't just me either, it was the whole family, right? My stepbrother, Roddy and Mark, my parent, sorry. Uh, well, I had two step parents, right? Because my mom and dad divorced, right? So, I mean, and, I was even around my little sister on my dad's side, right? So, I even, thought a bunch of toilet paper was diapers because, I don't know. Again, a potty training. And sometimes you would put the diaper in the damn toilet back then because you had cloth diapers. And you also had Pampers or Huggies and stuff like that back then still. But some people just used the old cloth diapers, right? So I know about helping a sister out until they reach adulthood, right? Now I was around my little sister on my dad's side who was born before. She's over almost over 14 years older than my other sister. And so in there, right? Because I was born in 60 and she was born around 77 or 78, somewhere in there, right? But again. Now, I was around, though, two sisters growing up, a couple female cousins, right? Now, one of them I was a little curious about as we kind of grew up together, but we didn't go all the way, things like that. Right? You're tempted sometimes, but you don't go all the way. Idiot. And you experiment more when you're a child, and I was experimenting with females, not males. Males. I don't know about you. Now, I did have a problem with a gay acting cousin towards me, but a step cousin, by the way. A step cousin, by the way. He wasn't related to us by blood, but marriage. And I think one night when we went up there, because my aunt had an aneurysm in her brain, um, or was that just a visit? That might have been just a visit, I think. Right? But I was still around 12 years old, right? It's not like I was not going through puberty. But anyway, I went to bed alone, right? The guy was supposed to come in later on. Well, next morning, he's accusing me of being gay, right? Only thing I could figure since I was asleep until morning is again, the guy tried to make a move on me when I was having a wet dream and I accidentally rubbed up against him. Now, usually, if you're with a good friend or even a good cousin and you have a wet dream and you're asleep, they can tell. You're having a wet dream and they're asleep and usually wake you up and say, hey, you're having a wet dream. Stop. And like my friend Myron David, who saw me humping the bed one time, and I'm humping the bed in my sleep. Got a wet dream when you do that. And also, I remember one time being in my other friend's mom's house, and I had a wet dream there too, right? But he just woke me up, and I rolled over and said, sorry, Ray, went back to sleep, right? Now, sometimes you also wake up with what's called morning wood, a morning erection, means you had a wet dream last night. Now, some of you might wake up with stuff in your underwear, or if you sleep nude on your mattress. That means you're enjoying usually for me, I'm not saying this towards gay people that it's a bad thing, but usually most men think of women. Now, some men are taught are made gay, right? And I believe it's made gay, but you stay gay, so you're gay, right? I don't argue with that. See, this is one of their tactics, though, I heard, to make you gay. They accuse you of pedophilia, meaning you don't know how to raise a child with a woman, right? And also of being gay, too, right? It's also heterophobia, not homophobia, right? Because, see, I've only been with women, right? Now, when you break up with somebody, usually you don't really hear from them anymore either. Now, I did hear from Mary Bell, right? She was the only ex to call me and tell me she had a child after we were together. Now, I'm not saying all of them got pregnant, but a few of them, like Rose and Stephanie, right? Naming the names too, Mary Bell. Because outside of you, no one else called me about that shit, right? And told me they had a child, 8 months after me, and the birth weight traces back to when we were together, right? All I can tell her too, if she's, fucked up and beyond all reality, I can unfuck her up in her way of seeing things. But some people's view is so askew, and if they never loved you like you loved them or didn't want a baby with you, I don't know what to do about that if it happened. Would you? No, just tell her, play along. Well, she denies it, let her deny it, right? Better off for the child as well. I mean, she sounds like she don't want to have your baby. She had your baby, right? So let her deny it too, right? So you don't know. It could be, right? What you want me to say, right? Birth weight traces back to when we were last together, and unless you're with another guy, it's fine. It's fine. That's all you can tell her to do. If she's acting weird about it and denying it, let her deny it. Right? Can't do more than that. Can't do less than that. In fact, legally, if someone else's name was on the birth certificate, you got to hire a lawyer and all that to get your name back on it. I ain't got the money for that then, and I told her that too. Well, I ain't got the money for all that. I'm on disability now, right? Told her that too, right? Though I can't offer her child support if she goes to the courts and get a DNA test with me, right? If she don't, or even the guy she was with, Scott Edward Harrison, I don't know nothing else about it either. I'm in Georgia. She's in New York or Colorado now, I guess, right? Seeing if she has any business affiliations, right? You can Google anybody, on Google if they're real, the person, right? Usually. And your ex, and someone's acting crazy towards you and you don't know who it is, right? Of course, some of them I don't even remember their last name. Of course, I was married, so I remember my wife's full name, right? But of all the women, most of them I just remember their first name. And now I know the name Amanda from the song, though. During the 80s, right? And of course, my ex-wife had a daughter named Amanda, right? She had her before I met her, right? Things like that, right? Though I'm around females, right? Including two sisters, right? One born in the 70s and one in the 80s, right? One was a little bit more than 10, almost 14 years older than the other two, right? Somewhere in there, right? 15, somewhere in there, right? I'm not sure, right? Of the exact age, because, you also don't really worry about things like that all the time either. You don't, if you don't really celebrate your sister's birthday, like she's with your dad and stepmom, right? You know what I mean? Right? And you don't really see her a lot. You don't really even really remember her birthdays. But like, I know my sister's birthday, who I live with my mom, right? I can tell you her birthday, right? Because we had birthday parties with her, right? So I went to the Navy, silly. But the other sister, I don't even remember her birthday, what year or month it was. But that's life. I mean, you remember someone who you celebrate birthdays with. Well, like I said, one time in the Navy, I ain't seen her in a while. She was around 16. And I kind of tickled her a little bit when my stepmom left us alone, but I didn't undress her or have sex with her. Didn't live in the living room or anything, right? But she was clothed and so was I. And that was just one time thing. I just kind of tickled her. But nothing sexual, nothing sexual. Then when the mom came back, I tried to play with my stepbrother, but I was trying to swing him around by the arms and snatch his arm out of socket a little bit. Not mean to, not mean to, or something. Right, right. Now, he was given my dad's first name. So he's Junior. Even though that should have went to me, right? But it's alright, I don't argue semantics. Now, I heard he went down the wrong path, right? But not me, I'm the good son. I'm the good son. For real, for real. I mean, I'm the one who kept himself out of trouble, don't do drugs during the 80s, man. Never touched it. Now I'm forced to do drugs because of the disability that developed in the military. Right? I don't have a choice. And you're railing on me about it either way, either way. And like I said, I'm taking the lowest dosage I'm legally allowed to take and still have a mental illness too to deal with all that. But the problem didn't develop until the military. And I made it through boot camp and A school, Captain Kerry, which is an accomplishment, not a failure. But I failed when I got to the ship because no one would damn it train me. And I didn't know what the damn equipment even fucking looked like because they didn't show us go over that was in A school. Oh no. All they went over in A school is electrical theory, how to use calculations to figure out wattage and ohms and all that stuff, right? And you had to have a scientific calculator as well. And shit like that. And then, they showed us about schematics and things like that, but we didn't even, the only equipment we have in there was maybe how to work on a kitchen stove. And that was it. That was it. We didn't even work on generators or anything of value during A school, right? It was more technical than hands-on, right? You were supposed to get your hands-on training, even according to them in the Navy, on the fleet, on the ship. Well, they didn't train me, all right? And then I met this girl overseas, and we had a fling that turned into a fling, all right? But it got very confusing because I'm telling the girl about a dream and being one of the two witnesses, and she's acting all crazy about it. That's how I perceived it, right? And wouldn't listen to me. And the only thing I can figure out is the assholes were writing her letters like in Murder She Wrote or something and typing them up, which I don't remember talking to them about my typing skills or anything like that. But the only way I could have is their code red at me. You know what that is? You ever seen A Few Good Men? But I also survived a car wreck before I joined as well and was out the hospital in 2 days. And though I'm relying on God and Jesus to get me out of sticky situations, and obviously they had before I joined the Navy, right? Because here's what's weird. Usually, okay, to wreck a car around a curve, you got to go over the speed limit, which was 35, right? Right. Yet the car wasn't that badly damaged, as if I was going like 35 or 40 around the curve. Well, unless someone's playing fucking chicken with you or something and someone's covering their ass or something, usually that don't happen. If someone's coming straight for you, you gotta swerve to get out their damn way, and they're in your lane or something, right? Usually that don't happen. Another thing is, right, I'm dropping him off at his girlfriend's house. Another thing is I'm supposed to drive home after that, right? So whatever happened before I even left that area, right? If I ran into someone else or I was attacked by someone who was associated with my stepbrother and his girlfriend, or I had some kind of relationship with his girlfriend's daughter, right? Which his girlfriend was over 30 years old, right? Yeah, and he was 17. She was a cougar indeed, indeed. Well, see, these are things you grow up around, including molestation. I found out one of my female cousins was molested by her stepdad, but couldn't talk about it because he was using weapons to intimidate her. Come on. including the gun. That's what I heard. So yeah, she's not going to want to talk about it. She was threatened with physical violence to the point of death, which is what real pedophiles have to do. Now, me and my ex-wife, we split amicably, though what broke us up was not a minor argument in August, but when I went to Bethesda and came back, and she's wanting to go get her daughter in Arkansas, because we had been married around 4 to 5 months and been together around 6, right? So again, on the way there, I get stranded. She leaves me stranded in Tennessee. Because, see, I got to be back by Monday. She's got 2 weeks in Arkansas. That's called a failure to communicate. Really, really. That's all that is. See, I'm speeding through the mountains like I got to be back by Monday. She's thinking, I got 2 weeks. Well, we're on 2 different pages there. Well, if you got to be back by Monday, you're going to be speeding your ass off through the mountains because you got to get on back to Norfolk because you got duty. You got to go be by work on Monday. Monday. That's called a failure to communicate, Daphne. Plus, I was in Bethesda for 2 weeks. Did you forget that? I know. I wasn't around you when you were planning all this. Plus, you got to inform me so I can request leave too. You usually got to put in a permission to get leave in the Navy too, right? And that's called a failure to communicate. Usually when we went down to Georgia's like an 8-hour drive. And you can go down to Georgia in a day and go back on Monday. Right, Daphne? But Arkansas is like 19 hours. I know, it's 19 hours. It's 19 hours, right? Almost a full fucking day. Come on. So I'm driving through the mountains like a freaking maniac because I gotta get on back to base. But we make it through, so I'm like, I don't know what's going on. She leaves me stranded, right? And that's why I'm trying to clear the air with all this shit. I don't know what you're talking about, nor does my ex-wife. And if the daughter came in there or not, okay, she wouldn't know about morning if something happened, you know what I mean? Because I don't intimidate my ex-wife or children into not coming forward if something happened anyway. They wouldn't know that night. They wouldn't know that night. If I'm even around the girl, which is, again, could have molested her but didn't because you're around somebody but you didn't do anything because you're sleeping on the couch and she's in the bedroom with her mother. No. That still could have but didn't. No. Yes, it is. Even if she didn't come in there to you. Because you can't prove none of this 11 to 25 years later on YouTube. And no one can. My ex-wife, if she got her daughter back safely or she never went in there, right, either way, never brought charges before we legally divorced. That takes a year. The only place I had an issue was on base when I got locked out in my room, right? And then I blacked out trying to get into the room. At least that's what I remember. And There again, if I had to jump from the damn window ledge or lower myself down an additional story and jump from there, I could have done either or, because I'm training myself through books and jiu-jitsu, right? Well, in Ninja 3 The Domination, the girl jumped from a 2.25 story building or a 3-story building like a parking lot. Now, I don't know if it's real or not, but I'm jumping from my damn trailer, from the top. I mean, I'm jumping in the air and landing. I'm practicing ninja stuff I see in the movies. Now, I didn't really have a lot of 3-story buildings around Effingham, you know what I mean? To jump from anyway. No, not. But again, you're locked out your damn room one night and you got to get back in the damn room, or otherwise you're stuck in the damn lounge with no shirt on, right? Because you were going to get cleaned up. Mm-hmm. And you wake up in the damn ER, you don't know what the hell happened. You just know you were trying to get into the room, and last thing you remember is trying to get onto the window ledge, and you're about this far from, about 4 inches from the window ledge, and you let go and you wake up in the ER. So you assume you were knocked out by the window ledge or something. And slipped somehow, right? Now, you don't remember all the details from that, again, 11 years later on YouTube, when you start telling your story. Now, my story is unusual in two areas. I had a car wreck at 16 and a 3-story fall at 24, 8 years later. Now, you might say it looks like someone's after me too by then, but I don't know. But if it is, it could be the same person or two different people. I don't know. But 3 people are after me on YouTube, but I have problems with people on my ship. So again, one is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. 2 can be as bad as 1, but the loneliest number is the number 1, son. Alright? Now, someone's isolated me to where I feel like I'm being harassed by them. I'm trying to stay away from my family to protect them from these assholes who are messing with me since day 1 on YouTube. Well, 6 months later on YouTube, anyway. After I put up a bunch of videos doing impersonations, like I see comedians doing on, NBC, especially Saturday Night Live, especially Dana Carvey and Eddie Murphy and Phil and all that. Trying to do Frank. Well, I can do Frank too. Don't look like Frank, don't even say that. I have to get makeup and all that. Where, eye changing lenses and stuff like that, contact lenses, right? Now, I might can pull it off. Like I said, right? This is waking up first thing in the morning. My hair is all matted and not really styled, but for a 50-year-old man, I got a decent hairline. Anyway. But it's also the same as when I was 16. That's the problem. It ain't changed. So they're bringing all stuff up that only children or immature people talk about when bullying someone who's not doing nothing wrong, right? Usually what you see in school too, right? And usually there's a sexual content to why the bully's bullying too, right? Usually he's being messed with that he's gay first, and then he starts messing with other kids, right? Maybe something happened, maybe it didn't, but it's the bully acting like the people bullying him, usually too, right? And it's usually older people bullying him, so he continues the process and bullies the kids smaller than him, right? Now, it's a bad cycle, but we got to stop it through helping the bully in, who was probably a victim himself at one point, but became the victimizer, like those victimizing other people, right? Who start bullying and bully tactics anyway, and now, those are the people who will call you 4 eyes when you got glasses, right? That's bullying. These are the people who will, not train you on your ship and act like you're supposed to know what you're doing through fucking osmosis, which means you can magically figure it out when you don't even have a clue what's going on, right? What, I'm supposed to learn this through osmosis? No, you can't. See, the reason you can't is there's two opposing forces right now. And one is called the good spirit or the good being, and one is called the evil spirit or the evil being, right? And they're associated with what made us and the planet, right? Okay, there's the good positive force, right? And then the negative destructive force, which is trying to kill everything. Now, the problem is sometimes people think the creative force and the destructive force is from the same being. It's not, right? It's from really a being lower than it, right? Both beings, all right, the creative spirit and the destructive spirit are given the opportunity to know truths or lies, right? Because we all are. We all are. Every day, every day. So that's the problem, right? Now, when you're attacking someone for 15 years on YouTube and ain't getting nowhere, you're the bully. You're the bully. You're the troll. You're the troll. You're the bad element. Not the fifth element, the bad element. Now, in Jiu-Jitsu, there's 5 elements. Really, there should be 6, though, right? There is fire, wood, air, water, and void. There's also the spirit of life, right? There's life, then air, water, fire, and wood, right? Now, our bodies are made up of matter, so are trees, so are everything else. Now, a tree has a covering called leaves. We have a covering called hair. Mm-hmm. And like I said, right, real hair, mm-hmm, ain't glued on or anything. And if you don't have wigs around you, right, I don't even have a bust to have a wig on. Now, most people, when they have a wig, you see at least a bust to keep the wig on. Idiot. You see a bust around here anywhere? No. Right? Nowhere. Not in my bedroom, not in my bathroom, not anywhere in my house. So mess off with that.